Hi, this is Autism Talks. Okay, so today we are going to talk about, I think I talked about this in my last video. So in my last video I said, I let things get to me very easily, and that's not good. And, it depends what it is, basically, as well. But, don't let it get to a point where it hits you in your heart, basically, because that'd be very hard. And during my anxiety recently, you are only hurting yourself, basically, when it comes to that, because no one else is doing it. You're just hurting yourself. And I've been hurting myself recently by letting things, negatively, my thoughts and everything, letting them in and stuff like that. And that's not good for me as well. So it's sort of like saying to yourself, sorry, I got an itchy nose. Okay, so it's like saying to yourself, what do you prefer? So you can't let things, it's like a shield, okay? So imagine like this is a shield, okay? And you see something and then it bounces off you. So you kind of got to do that with yourself. It might be hard, trust me, I know, it might be hard, but you can't let it get to a point where it just hits you in the heart so easily. And you have to stop at some point, if you do hurt yourself, whether or not it's physically or not, or mentally, you can't hurt yourself. And I've been hurting myself recently because of the choices that I made as well. And that's not good for me either. So, yeah, it's very hard. You can't hurt yourself. And you can't, let things get to you either. And it's just really hard to sort of, control that because, it might be very hard it might be a hard thing to do. But you can't let things get to you. Can't let things hurt you. Whether or not it's something that happened with you or with someone else, you can't get that. And I've been hurting myself lately because of me doubting myself as a friend to my other friends, and I'm doubting myself more than ever. And with that, because it's very hard to get out of that slump as well. But it's sort of you can't hurt yourself because. My mom says you're only doing it to yourself, and that's actually true because you are the only one who is hurting yourself. It's sort of making your own choice. It's sort of like that. You are hurting yourself as well when it comes to that because it's sort of you don't mean to hurt yourself, but it's just ooh, yeah, I'm hurting myself deep down inside, and that's not good because unfortunately you can't help the way you feel, and that's very hard to get out of that stage of life. That stage because it's sort of you feel everything's crumbling down, everything's your fault, you blame yourself, your conscious telling me that you might have done the wrong thing. It's very hard to get out of that mindset. Trust me, I know, I've been there. It's really hard. But I've just been hurting myself recently with everything, with anxiety, with negativity. Other things going on as well, medical thoughts. So it's just been really hard for me to get out of that state as well because, what's the point? Why am I hurting myself? What's the point of that? You don't understand why you do it, but, when emotions run high, it's sort of there is a reason why I'm doing this to myself as well. And when I confronted my feelings about the whole situation, it made everything so much better. So, as well. So it's very hard to sort of not let anything in, but sort of that's how you feel, if you get what I mean. If you don't let it in and pretend you're I'm totally fine, everything's fine. It's not. But if you pretend to have that attitude, which I've been having recently, only because I didn't want to confront my feelings head on, because I would just start crying and going through all these emotions and stuff like that. But afterwards, after a good cry session, you're pretty good. It might feel terrible. Sometimes when you cry, I don't know if you get this. Sometimes when you cry and stuff, you get really, really, tired and stuff because you've just let out a big emotion, a big thing that has happened to you. So, yeah. So you just feel relieved, but your body feels tired afterwards when you cry. I'm not sure if you feel the same way. I don't know if it's just me, but that's how I feel sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes. It depends on what. It depends if you have a big emotion. If it's just a little emotion, that's fine. If it's a really, really big one, then the floodgates are going to go open and oh my God, it's crazy. So everything that has happened recently to me, with my anxiety and, people and stuff like that, I've just like closed the floodgates and like, I'm totally fine. I'm fine with this, but you're not fine with this as well. So it's very, very hard. But once I let that go and let the floodgates go, it's so much better. Like, you kind of have to let the floodgates open, to be honest with you, because if you don't let that happen, then you go to, you know, not regret, but you go to, like, you know, feel not good. Because if you hold on to stuff, if you hold on to your emotion, if you hold on how you're feeling, then it feels worse. I've done that. It's hard. It's hard. It's not good for you either. So, you know, you try to be, I think I try to be okay. We feel like, oh yeah, everything's fine. My mum was like, how are you? I'm like, oh yeah, everything's fine. But sometimes I lie to myself, like, you are not good. You need to tell your mum about this. So the fact that I've released all of the floodgates now, hopefully I can move on and I'm much better afterwards because I've let that go. Like, if you let something go, or if you cry, or you feel angry, like, emotions are normal. Like, I've been having so many emotions recently. Like, I've been angry, hurt, frustrated, sad, you know, all those emotions all at once, and it's very hard, you know, to deal with all those emotions all at once, because you feel what you feel, basically, and you can't control that. You can't, you know, at the time, you can't really control that, and you can't really, you know, switch it off, because that's who you are. You are human. You have human feelings as well, and that's totally normal for every human being on Earth. But it's very hard to sort of, like, you know, not tell yourself that you are not okay. Like, you know, like, I try not to hide my feelings sometimes, because it is hard, but, you know, if you say to yourself, oh, I'm totally fine, you're not totally fine. You need to talk to someone about this. Yeah, it's just hard. It's just hard to sort of, like, I guess it's sort of hard to sort of switch your feelings off, basically. I think everybody has that problem. You kind of, like, switch your feelings off, basically, and it's very hard to do sometimes. Like, when you feel something, you feel something. Like, either you see something on TV that's so cute, I'm like, oh, that's so sweet. And when you see something sad, like, oh my God, that's so sad. Like, what happened? You know, it's very hard to switch your feelings off. And I guess I've kind of been doing that. I've been kind of guilty of doing that recently because of how I'm feeling. And I didn't want to let it out because I felt like, you know, I was being, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I wasn't being, like, melodramatic or anything. I just felt like, you know, not okay inside. And I felt like if I let it out, then, you know, I guess I sort of felt bad, I guess. I'm not sure. Bad, I guess, in a way, because it didn't feel like I wanted to get it off my chest. But my mum says you have to get stuff off your chest because it makes you so much better. And I'm so relieved that I've done that because I just feel so much better of the outcome afterwards. Sure, it might be hard. It might be tough, you know, to deal with your emotions at the time. But you are human, like I said before. You are human. You have human emotions. And sure, you go through stages. Like, I remember this one stage, I was really angry at someone. And I was, like, frustrated, angry, sad, hurt. You go through all of that. So it's kind of like a stage of emotions, basically. I think I talk about that in my Autism talks too. Like, you go through a stage of emotions, and it's so hard to sort of, like, switch them off because it's who you are, basically. And I'm a very feeling person most of the time. But, yeah, once you let it out, it's like, let the floodgates open. And I think that's a contribute to my anxiety as well. Because my anxiety, I think the reason why my anxiety has been mucking up so bad is because of that as well. Because I've been just dealing with a lot with people, anxiety, stuff like that. So it's been really, really tough. But yeah, but if you let it out, it's good, you know. And also too, don't hurt yourself either. You know, don't hurt yourself either. As well when it comes to that. You know, you are not the problem in this situation. They are. Like I said, my other autism talks too. And, you know, also try not to let things get to you easily as well. Because that can be also very hard. Especially with what's going on recently and other things. So it's very hard. But, it's very hard, but you have to because you are protecting yourself. It's like a shield, like pretend you have a shield over your heart. Like I'm not letting this get to me. Just as well. So it's sort of like reflects back at something as well. So try and do that for yourself as well. So yeah, that's all got time, guys. Make sure to like, share, subscribe to Miller's Mixed Media, guys.